All right, here we go. So we're starting with support. You know what? Let's start with Ana. All right. Keep in mind, I don't play support as much as I play tank, so when I come up with this tier list here, I might, you know, be off on a couple heroes here and there. I am leaning towards Ana either being A or B tier. Now, I think Ana's either A or B tier because Ana is good against Hog, obviously, but we're in a situation right now where Kiriko is so dominant that a lot of what makes Ana really good is kind of almost overshadowed by how good Kiriko is. So I will say that with the changes to Ana's nade being 4 seconds now, which I think is a good change, I kind of want to lean towards Ana being an A tier. Now, keep in mind, this is kind of going across all ranks. I feel like in GM Top 500 games, you might have Ana maybe B tier, but I think A tier is a pretty safe pick for Ana. Ana's been getting buffs kind of slowly. So yeah. I think Ana there is probably like a safe pick. With the recent buffs too. All right, BAP. B tier? I want to say B tier. I think hear me out on why B tier. BAP has the ability to do a good amount of damage. The ultimate's good. The heals are pretty good. Lamp is pretty good. I think BAP right now, the problem BAP's running into is that Kiriko is being played a lot, Mercy's being played a lot, Lucio's being played a lot, Ana's being played a lot. I don't think that BAP is bad, and I think that there's times where we could see BAP even in the A tier or even the S tier, right? But it kind of goes to, and I'll show you later when I put Sigma on the tier list, I'll have a pretty similar explanation. A similar explanation. I think that BAP at B tier, just because of the current meta we're seeing, the current strong heroes, I'm okay with BAP being in the B tier right now. And I think BAP could easily be argued for A tier, but I like B tier. All right, chat. Brig. I don't even know if I need to go into a deep discussion about this. Like, I don't think there needs to be much of a deep discussion. Brig is currently probably one of the worst supports in the game. I will say, I enjoy playing Brig. Whenever I play Brig, I'm like, I almost play off tank at that point. But with the current meta, with the way the heroes are playing, Brig just needs some changes. Although it has been talked about, if I'm correct, in a interview where apparently there are the possibilities of Brig changes, but it's going to require some like UI stuff and all that. So I'm putting Brig in D tier. You said Brig is really good in bronze. You know, I don't doubt that. But I would say overall, Brig is still probably in D tier and probably needs some changes. I feel like there's some changes to Brig that need to happen. Now, does Brig need a stun back? No, because then we're going to go back to like what we saw in Overwatch 1 with that. But I imagine we'll see some changes to Brig. So I do like playing Brig. Brig's a fun hero to play. All right. The next support, which I think the next two supports we're going to do, it's going to be pretty easy to put them where I think I'm going to put them. Kiriko, S tier. Kiriko is one of the best supports in the game right now. I can't think of many of the supports that are better than Kiriko right now. The cleanse, Swift Step, the ultimate, all really good. Even with the nerfs, Kiriko's still really, really good. And Kiriko, just really good support. Fun support to play. Really good support. Just absolute, just top tier hero right now. Straight up. S tier, maybe even S plus tier. Next hero here. Some people might agree with me, some people will not. Lucio's S tier. Now, I can only go kind of off of like the rank games that I have, but Lucio, with the current way the game plays, having the ability to play really fast and also synergize with a lot of other team comps, Lucio's S tier. Currently. You know, it could be argued maybe A tier, but I am pretty confident with Lucio being S tier. I'm confident with Lucio being S tier. But don't worry, I think we're going to have 3 supports in the S tier. You said Lucio gets better. Here's the thing about Lucio, is that I'm going off of what I see with team comps a lot of the time, not necessarily like just like a 1v1 in certain situations. So I think when it comes to Lucio and the play style that Lucio can help with a team, Lucio Kiriko comp absolutely dominates. It's so good, right? And especially when it comes to tier lists, we're talking about the season 2 tier list right now. I think that those two heroes are really strong right now. Like, straight up. I think they're really strong. All right, next hero that I think is S tier. Now, I want to point out this is also because other heroes are strong, and this could easily go maybe A or B tier. Mercy is going up there. I'm going to tell you why. Mercy, a really good Mercy and a really good Sojourn right now, almost impossible to play against. Almost impossible to play against. Right? Keep in mind, I can only go off of, like, a lot of what I see with Mercy Sojourn. It doesn't mean that in all ranks you're seeing Mercy Sojourn dominated, and we could argue that Mercy goes A tier or B tier based off of, like, team comps. Like, if you load into a game, right? If you load into a game and your healing comp is Mercy Lucio, I don't think we're gonna do this here. I don't think that would be a team comp you're gonna have. And actually, that's quite a frequent comp. You still vouch A tier, Vap? Listen, I think that's the fun part about tier lists, right? Is it can definitely be argued that certain heroes should be in, like, A tier, B tier, C tier, etc. Like, where you put them. That's the fun part about tier lists, though. You know, my experiences so far is that this is where I've seen supports in most of the ranked games. I will say I've seen some great Baps, right? But I have Bap at B tier because, like you said, I kind of went, yeah, I guess you're right. I did kind of go overall with that, where, like, Bap played correctly. But Mercy, I don't know, like, Mercy Sojourn right now is, like, all I see. And I see it even in quick play. Like, Mercy Sojourn's just dominating games. Yes, so this is true. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. There are certain team comps that are going to be reliant, right? That are going to be, like, super reliant on, or heroes are going to be super reliant on other heroes being meta, right? But the point of this tier list is it's going to be it's like the season 2 current tier list of what heroes are pretty strong based off of what I'm seeing. So this is where I have these heroes at. It doesn't mean that Mercy will... You said Ana should be S tier now? I don't think with the changes. Here's the reason why. Kiriko is just counters Ana. Pretty much. Not counters Ana, but removes a lot of what Ana can do. So. Well, that's a little bit different. Like, obviously, like, this is more on ladder that I'm seeing. But. Yeah, thank you, Karq. Thank you. Karq said good list. All right. Next support we're going to rank here. I mean, this is obvious, chat. S tier. I can't think of a better DPS to have on your team at any moment. Like, it's obvious that this was going to be another S tier pick here. If there could be anything higher than that, we would... Moira's a tough one in this one. Because, like, I want to go with C tier. Like, I want to go with C tier right here. Because when I look at, like, the healing output, and I look at, like, the DPS output of, like, Moira, right? And basically what Moira does ability-wise, I feel like Moira's probably around C tier, right? But, listen, I may or may not have seen some talks where apparently Moira absolutely dominates in some ranked games. So you know what, chat? How do we feel about B tier for Moira? How do we feel about a B tier for Moira? Okay? Just because I know there's backline DPS Moiras all the time. I know chat absolutely loves when they have the DPS Moiras. All right? Chat, listen. Be honest with me here, okay? All right, be honest with me. Type 1 in the chat if you've played a rank game. Not if you played a rank game. If you've played a rank game where Moira absolutely dominates in your backline. 2 if you haven't. All right? Now, I'm not saying that's the playstyle you want to see, right? I'm not saying that's the playstyle, but I've been hearing that in a lot of ranks... You said it's you? Oh, that's you? All right, see? You've been that Moira? Yeah, I know! Listen, this is what happens on Moira, okay? I see it happen even when I play Moira in my, like, warm-up games, okay? This is what happens. You sit there, right? You sit there as Moira. You go, I'm going to heal my teammates. You know what? I'm going to play with my team. I am going to play with my team, and this is going to go perfectly. You heal your tank. They run in a straight line at them. They keep taking damage. You go, you know what? I really can't keep them healed here. I use my healing orb. It flies to the sky to Horizon Lunar Colony. I can't use my damage orb because I have to keep up the tank in front of me. So you know what? I'm going to try something different next team fight. I'm going to stay with my DPS. All right, my DPS just got one shot by Sojourn. I'll see you in their back line. Tell me how the game goes. Happens every time. Happens every single time. It just something. And then by game 5 of playing Moira, Moira's like, you know what? I'm in the back line. I've played 5 games in a row. I've been healing the tank in front of me. They run in a straight line at them. I don't have enough of the like the healing there. I can't even do damage on them to do it. I'm going to the back line. By game 10, by game 10, there's not even an explanation at that point. You're just in their back line. Like the spawn doors open at the beginning of the game, and you're already in their spawn doors going, let's go. Let's do this. You know what I mean? Like that. All right? It happens every time. That's what happens. All right? So just because of that whole discussion we had about Moira, I say B tier. Someone's going to go, why is BAP at the same tier? Honestly, we're having fun. This is a great tier list so far. Listen, do I think BAP played extremely well, could be here? Absolutely. I've played against some amazing BAPs. But, like, if we are going to go based off of all ranks right now, which is fair, I still think B tier because I don't think BAP is being played on that maximum DPS healing like style that you would want to see. Right? And I think that's what would really, at least in my opinion, have... If BAP was like... If there was like certain changes to BAP that made it so like whoever was playing BAP knew how to both do damage and healing, then I would put A tier. Right? But a lot of time it just ends up... You know what? How about this? How about this, chat? You know what? Chat's convinced me. Because now and more as I see this tier list, the more and more I see this tier list, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to stay with this. How about this? How about this? Moira's B tier, BAP is B+. That is a fair way to go about that. I think that is a good way to go about that. All right? You can argue A tier, you can argue B tier. I'm sticking with that. I am sticking with that. Said Moira needs her own TikTok tier. Thank you for the word of Vitscraft. Appreciate it. All right. You said Moira is definitely worse than BAP, but like we're talking about going into a rank game at this point, right? If we're talking purely like a contenders OWL match, the list might change a little bit, right? We're talking about ranked across the board. Now, obviously, there's going to be some situations where I might rank something higher because I'm just like, yeah, I don't know how Sojourn's playing in bronze, for example, right? But I think we know where I'm going to rank Sojourn on this list, correct? Just to talk a little bit more about like Moira, I can guarantee you that in some ranks, people are absolutely complaining about like how much Moira can dominate in some games, and then some ranks people are like, yeah, so Zenyatta. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I don't know. I don't play a lot of Zenyatta. Like, if I had to make like an initial, I'm gonna go with this right away, I would say B or C. Straight up. That's my initial on that. Oh, Discord's great, don't get me wrong. But from like a team synergy and like just, I say B or C. I don't think Zenyatta is necessarily a bad hero, right? But with how support play is right now in general, I think B or C. Don't get me wrong, a really good Zen could be right here, right? A really good Zen could be right here. But if we're looking at like how much Zen gets played and like how flankers are against Zen right now, it's either C or B, right? Keep in mind, just before I place Zen anywhere, Moira and BAP in the B tier right now, they have decent survivability against flankers. BAP has a burst heal, right? BAP has a burst heal. BAP has a lamp. Moira can fade away, right? Zenyatta does not. Zenyatta has a kick, which is extremely fun. Don't get me wrong. That kick is amazing. But that's why I think, like, if we're looking at the overall, like, just looking at overall all of ranked, I want to say C or B tier. Do we put Zen in C tier just because, chat? So we have something in C tier, or do we go with B tier? I'm gonna let chat decide this one. This is a chat decision. You choose, chat, C or B. This is a chat decision for the C tier. Okay, just so anybody knows, maybe we'll have it show up on the video too. Oh, I'm seeing mainly C tier. Chat is just spamming C tier. There's some people putting B tier, but I'm seeing a lot more C tier than B tier. I'm seeing a lot more C tier. There was also somebody who was really passionate about this tier and spammed it 12 times and got timed out for 10 seconds. So there was also that. All right, we'll go C. We'll go with C tier. All right. So is that okay? I'm done with supports now. So we're gonna do DPS next. And we're gonna do tanks. So there you go. There's a tier list for them. All right, you ready? Let's start right away with Soldier 76. Well, I want to do tanks last. Mainly because I might go into deep discussions about tanks. Because obviously I play tank, so I want to be able to go into like deep discussions about tank before we get there. Wait. Oh. Soldiers A or B tier? Seriously? I'm gonna give Soldier B tier. I am fine with B tier. I am. Hear me out. I am fine with B tier. I do not think Soldier is currently A tier. I think B tier is reasonable. I think the damage output of Soldier is good. But I have to go with B tier. I just feel like there's too many heroes right now in DPS that are just a little bit better than Soldier. I personally like playing Soldier, and I feel like some of the maps are tough for Soldier right now. I think Soldier's a solid B tier and a really good like third support, especially when you get into some of your rank games. And that's actually perfect because sometimes you'll have a Moira and a Soldier, and this becomes your main healer at that. Or your main support becomes Soldier, not Moira. So I think that kind of works perfectly here with that team comp, okay? All right, Ashe. Dare I say A tier with the reload change? That seems reasonable, right? I'm not quite gonna say S tier because I think Sojourn is a lot better. But I think A tier, especially in ranked, with the new reload, like when you get a pick, your reload's gonna be a lot quicker. It's like what, 35% now? One of the biggest weaknesses on Ashe was that you just literally had to take forever to reload. That helps a ton now. That helps a ton. Okay, yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Ashe on A tier. Ashe is A tier. Bastion. Here's my take. Not D tier, not A tier. It's either going to be B or C tier. Definitely not S tier. Okay, let me ask you this, chat. If I go with B tier here, will chat be happy that we went with Bastion? Do we have a bunch of Bastion connoisseurs in the chat who think Bastion should be in B tier? Yep. Yeah, I see all the Bastion enjoyers. All right, we'll go with B. Why not? Listen, is this ranked defend? I mean, it's all over the place with it. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, in top 500. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, in bronze. Like, we're having fun with the tier list. B tier seems fine. Cassidy, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the stick is pretty good. I think C tier is a perfect spot for Cass. Fall off damage does not allow Cass to be as good as Cass can be. Obviously, if you have the right-click Randy play style, which if you've ever watched me play Cassidy, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm a pretty good right-click Randy, but I'm a pretty good right-click Randy. So I would say Cass is probably C tier. Yeah, I think C tier is just fine. I don't, until they like adjust fall off damage or find ways to make Flash have a little bit more value. Even though, sorry, let me rephrase that. Maybe have Flash have more like just a different play style to it than what it is now. Then maybe I think Flash is good. It's a guaranteed basically like headshot with when you stick somebody, but I would say C tier. I would say C tier. Echo. You know what? It's funny because I feel like Echo's either B or A tier. And with me putting Mercy at S tier, I feel like that makes Echo better. I feel like that makes Echo better. Just because you could obviously do like a Mercy Echo comp, and I have Mercy in S tier to begin with. I feel like it's going to be very dependent on like who's playing Echo, but I really think Echo's not that bad. You said Echo's ult sucks though? Hear me out. If they're playing Ramatra though, 450 HP. Actually, no. More than that now. Is it 525 HP? When you go into Nemesis form, Echo actually gets the armor that you get. So I want to say A or B tier here. I feel like if we're just going throughout all of ranks, then probably B tier. No, definitely not S tier. It's either going to be B or A tier. You know what? I am fine with B tier here, and hear me out as to why. I just feel that Echo played well, A tier. Echo not played well, probably D tier. No, I'm just kidding. Probably, I say B tier. I want to say B tier. No, I think B is... I think B is a current safe spot here. Now, hear me out. If Sojourn gets nerfed, I think Echo moves up. And actually, somebody in the chat just mentioned that too. I think if Sojourn gets nerfed, I think Echo moves up without any changes. But I can only go off of what I'm seeing in ranked with that. It's funny because this actually, believe it or not, Echo has been 50-50 right now in chat. So a lot of chat wants to go A tier. A lot of chat wants to go B tier. You know, I'm gonna go B tier because you know what? Maybe we'll move Echo later. Genji. Whew. It depends what. It depends what Genji's nerfs are next. I don't know. This is tough. So Genji started here, season 1, and Genji's like, okay, I don't want to go D tier yet. I think just because of a lot of the change that happens to Genji, we just have to go with C tier for Genji. Do you know what I mean? Like at this point, like we should just go with C tier for Genji, even if we thought, you know, let's just listen. Genji's had a bunch of nerfs. Let's just go C tier. Let's go C tier. I think that's the play. All right. First of all, if Genji goes any higher in this tier list, Genji will be D tier by mid-season balance patch. Okay, Genji has to go into C tier. All right, because this means Genji probably will be. We're gonna have to go with that. Yeah, I think C tier. I'm gonna go with C tier. All right, next Hanzo. Okay, do I count Hanzo's current recoil, or do I count Hanzo when Hanzo doesn't have recoil? Don't count? Probably C tier. Pretty good hero. Does some damage. Doesn't do as well as other heroes right now. I'd say C tier. If we don't count the bug. I think C tier is fair. It's like okay. I think like to people mentioning like D tier, the thing is that Hanzo's ability to just randomly get that one shot sometimes, I think just kind of puts Hanzo in like C tier. Doesn't mean that Hanzo is like amazing by any means, but I just don't think Hanzo's at D tier either. I think C tier is like a decent pick. And no passive? That's fair. If Seagull thinks he's terrible, first of all, I played a game with Seagull the other day where Seagull had a play of the game on Hanzo, therefore I'm going C tier. That's it. You know what? You convinced me. I wasn't sure yet. I'm going with C tier. You're right. I saw Seagull. I was in that game with Seagull when Seagull got the play of the game as Hanzo. All right? There we go. Good call, chat. Good call. That is C tier for me. All right. Who do we have next? Junkrat, A tier. Any disagreements? A tier? Chat, the amount of times I randomly get one shot, I'm just going to feel better if we have Junkrat in the A tier right now, okay? A tier. Could make an argument for S tier, agreed, but I think A tier. I think just A tier. I'm fine with that. May. Oh, this is a tough one. I know chat is gonna say some chat's gonna say D tier, some chat's gonna say C tier. I think C tier is a safe pick for May. Hear me out on this one. I think that May is gonna block too many of my Ramatra ultimates when played, because May Wall actually will block the Ramatra ultimate. So I think, like, the current play style of May, I think I just want to go with C tier currently. I think that's what we're gonna go with. That's my only reasoning. I think May is fun to play when I've played May. The left click's a little bit more. The left click's kind of fun to me because, like, it just kind of ramps up. But I think C tier is where I'd put May right now. I think, like, it just, with how other heroes are, you know, maybe B tier, but I think C tier is a fine pick. I think that's fine. Pharah? I don't know. Chat. C tier? B tier? Maybe because Mercy's being played a lot more, B tier? But, like, Echo is, yeah, I was gonna say Echo, because if you had a mirror matchup of Echo versus Pharah, who wins that? Echo most of the time, right? Because your mobility and you're able to just, like, hit the shots a little bit easier. So, like, all right, let me ask you a question, chat. This is gonna be my decision. I'm not gonna tell you yet, okay? I'm just gonna sit right in the middle here for a second, all right? Type 1 in the chat if there's a Pharah in your rank game and Pharah can dominate it. 2 if they don't. I'm just curious now, because it used to be like that in Overwatch 1. All right. We'll go with C tier for now. Because, like, it used to be that Pharah would absolutely dominate games, but it seems like Pharah isn't dominating games as much right now. So I think, like, C tier is a safe pick for that. I think C tier is fine. That could change based off of meta, though. And I'll explain some of this, like, later on, too, when I get to other heroes here. Reaper? Is it... Here's what I know is going to happen. All right. I think in some ranks, Reaper's going to dominate, especially against certain tanks and heroes. I feel like in other ranks right now, because of how good, like, Sojourn is, Reaper won't quite be in A tier because of that. So I think B tier is a pretty good pick here. I think B tier is pretty good because I know that, like, Reaper's kind of one of those heroes where it's like, do they have a tank? Go Reaper! Yeah, but what tank? It's just Reaper! Yeah, but they have a tank. Reaper! Yeah, but, like, I could go... Reaper! It's like, they have a... Basically, if they have a tank, then your team wants a Reaper. You know what I mean? Like, Reaper's good against tanks. And in a lot of ranks, Reaper probably can dominate a tank. Right? So B tier. There you go. He said that's actually you. There you go. All right, Sojourn. Okay, do we really need to go into... I don't even think we have to go into a deep discussion here. I think this is pretty much S tier. Sojourn's S tier. The nerfs still haven't made Sojourn not be S tier. Sojourn's probably getting better in some ranks now. Sojourn's dominant. Sojourn's by far, in my opinion, the best hero in the game right now. Obviously, Sojourn Mercy, and one of the reasons why we have Mercy up here too is because Sojourn Mercy right now is so powerful. I've seen it in quick play. I've seen it in Mystery Heroes. You go, how does that happen to Mystery Heroes? You know what happens in Mystery Heroes when I play Mystery Heroes? I get like we'll get like 4 Brigs and like a Tracer, and they'll get Sojourn Mercy and 3 tanks. Okay? So yeah, it happens there too. Pretty much every time I see the hero being played, I think Sojourn Mercy's good. So Sojourn is S tier. All right, what do we have now? Sombra. All right, everybody good with that one? I don't think there's any like argument on this one. Sombra's D tier right now, straight up. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sombra just doesn't. They nerfed Sombra because Sombra was gonna be super strong. They haven't quite figured out what they want to do with Sombra yet. Sombra's D tier, straight up. Sombra's damage output isn't that good right now. The way that it's just Sombra. I wouldn't doubt it if they do a Sombra rework one time, where they like relook at how they really want to do Sombra, because I'm going D tier. I have to go D tier. All right, chat. This is gonna be a tough one because you're gonna see a lot of heroes in B tier, and you're gonna wonder why I'm making this pick. This might be a bit of a biased pick here, but I have been playing with a Symmetra enjoyer, aka Seagull. And the amount of plays we've managed to make with Symmetra has been so good that I'm going to put Symmetra A tier just purely out of the gameplay that I'm having with Seagull. All right? I have to go with A tier. I have to. Whether or not this is the correct tier, whether or not people would agree or disagree on this one, I have to put Symmetra A tier based off of our Orisa Symmetra gameplay that we've been doing. We've been winning so many games doing it. And I like, real talk, I actually do like the new, like, ramp up they have with that, where you just like, it doesn't require shields. Like, I don't know how that works. Like when you left click, it just seems like it charges up really fast. So I like that. Torb, I think B tier. I think Torb's good B tier. You can use your Torb turret against flankers. You have, pretty decent ultimate. You have overload. I think a solid B tier. I don't think there's any really like, I can't really think of a way to argue A tier. I can't really think of a way to say that Torb is bad enough to be in C tier. I think B's fine. I think B tier is fine. So, yeah. I think B tier is fine. Tracer? Oh, this is a tough one. I want to say A tier because I think that the 5.5 damage keeps Tracer pretty good. Not S tier. Tracer probably would have been S tier with the 6 damage. I think the 5.5 damage puts Tracer to A tier just by a little bit. If you're good at Tracer, obviously. I mean, yeah, if I'm playing Tracer, I might go C tier or B tier. But I think A tier is a fine spot for Tracer. You're right, though. Ana does 2-shot now on that. But I don't think Ana's being played that much. I mean, technically, Kiriko 2-shots Tracer, too, of headshots, right? I think A tier is probably fine for now. I think there's enough there where Tracer can still do a good amount of damage. I think A tier is fine. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, Widowmaker. This is a tough one. Sojourn's so good right now. A tier? I don't know. Is Widow... I feel like Widow's going to be, like, very reliant on... I think B tier is probably a safe pick, right? If we're going across... Is it A? Do you think A tier, chat? You know what? We've done this a couple times, chat. You decide. A tier or B tier for Widow. I'm gonna let... This is a chat decision on the tier list. I'll let chat decide. We did one last time too. This is a chat decision. Widow is being placed by chat on the tier list. I am seeing way more B tiers than A tiers. I am seeing way more B tiers than A tiers. Way more. All right, Widow's going to B tier. That was chat's decision. There's another DPS in the S tier with Sojourn? I don't think there is right now. I think Sojourn's just really good above all the other heroes currently. All right, I didn't miss any of the DPS chat, which means we're going on to tanks. Are you ready for the tank part of the tier list, chat? Are you ready for the tank part of the tier list? Is it time? Checking one thing on my phone for a second. All right. All right. Here we go. We're going to start right away with one of the heroes that I think is going to be up at S tier, and it's not going to be Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball's D tier. Can Wrecking Ball be higher tier than D tier right now if the meta shifts? Yes, I do think that Wrecking Ball can probably go higher on the tier list if there is other changes, and I think there's times where Wrecking Ball could be up here. I'm not even kidding you. If the meta isn't what it is currently, but Wrecking Ball currently right now, in my opinion, based off of, you know, just everybody playing, D tier. I think D tier. Did Ball C tier? Yeah, okay, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's gonna be, there are amazing Wrecking Ball players. I'm gonna point that out. There's amazing Wrecking Ball players. But there's probably some ranks where there's probably ranks where Wrecking Ball isn't even using grapple yet. At that point. You know what I mean? Like, Wrecking Ball takes a while to get used to. I think putting Wrecking Ball at D tier right now is just what I'm going to go with for now. All right? I think that Wrecking Ball has one of those, like, higher variants of where they'll end up on a tier list based off of meta. But I think right now that Wrecking Ball's D tier. Yeah, no, there's people who are good at Wrecking Ball. I'm going to tell you right now. There are amazing Wrecking Ball players, without a doubt, right? But, like, I still think that overall, Wrecking Ball ends up in D tier. Straight up. All right, Doomfist. Okay, this is a tough one. Because, okay, here's my take on Doomfist. I don't know. I don't play enough Doom right now. But there are Doomfist players who are saying Doom is not good now. There are also players who are saying they're struggling against Doom. From what I understand about Doomfist currently, is Doomfist cooldown timings got hecked up a little bit in 4 seconds, is making it harder for Doomfist to be played. So, I think the argument here with Doom is whether or not Doom's going to be in the B or C tier. I want to say B tier because I feel like if played correctly in some ranks, Doom might do well. But you could argue that a lot of people aren't good at Doom, which would put Doom in C tier. So if we're going based off of just the ability usages and the reworks that we've seen, B tier right now. I would say. It does not mean that, like, I think when Doom players are saying Doom's pretty bad right now, or that doesn't play as well before, I can agree with that. I think the 4-second punch probably hecked up some timings there, which makes it so, especially when really good Doomfists are trying to play against certain, like, team comps, it can be difficult to do that, right? But if we're looking at, like, just the abilities and, like, the reworks they did to Doom, and Doom having a little bit more value and, like, having charge punch up a little bit more, you could say B tier. I would say that's, like, a decent spot to put Doom. Could very much be argued C tier. I'm not against the idea of possibly C tier if we see Doom get destroyed even more. Diva. Chat. I don't think Diva's A tier. Do you think Diva's A tier? Can I be honest with you? I think we're gonna have another B tier right now. I think Diva's B tier. I think in season 2, B tier is pretty good. Yeah, here we go, chat. Here we go. B tier. Roadhog. S tier. I don't think we have to go into a deep explanation right now about Roadhog. Roadhog's S tier. Especially with Kiriko being S tier. And I can tell a lot of people have been complaining about playing against Roadhog. Junker Queen. It's a tough one for me. If we were talking about how fun a hero is to play, I'd put Junker Queen right here. If we were talking about how fun Junker Queen is to play, I would put Junker Queen right here. But unfortunately, right now, with where the meta's at and where the game is, Junker Queen's going to be D tier. Also, if Junker Queen's D tier, maybe Junker Queen will get some buffs, chat. So we're going to go with D tier. Chat's like, yeah, never mind. D tier it is. Yep. Ugh. Yeah, yo, no, D tier. I just like playing against a lot of just... I've just seen how Junker Queen is. Junker Queen can win games, but you also just end up not being able to like finish a limbs a lot of the time. Okay, anyway, Orisa, A tier. I know that Orisa can counter Hog, but what I've seen is that a really well-played team comp of like a full meta comp beats the Orisa comp by just a little bit, but I like Orisa in A tier. Okay, listen, I feel like, how about this? How about this, chat? A+ tier for Orisa. Just because Hog can, especially in like the Sojourn meta, has the ability to self-sustain a little bit easier than Orisa does. I think Orisa at A+ tier is probably a good spot to put Orisa. Listen, I play Orisa way more than Hog right now. I think Orisa is good. I think A+ is where I'll put Orisa, and I wouldn't doubt it if Orisa becomes meta, especially when they nerf Hog, or if Orisa becomes one of the go-to play tanks. All right, I think that's a fair assessment on that. Okay, Reinhardt. All right, there we go. Chat, cool with that? C tier. Not quite D tier. Struggles against a lot of team comps. Can still win games if played correctly. I'll go with C tier. Ryan's better than Junker Queen? I'd say so. Well, if you're talking 1v1, maybe you could go with, like, I would just say Ryan's probably better, yeah. Okay, Ryan. Sigma. I'm gonna do this one here, B tier. I'll tell you why. Sigma is a good hero. All right. Sigma is a good hero. Sigma has a great kit. Sigma plays well against a lot of comps. I put Sigma at B tier mainly because of this. All right. You want to go A tier? You want to go A tier? You know what? I got two reasons for Sigma going A tier now. One, we have a lot of B tier. Two, Sigma does have high damage output. The shield's pretty good. I do find that I can play Sigma on more maps now. And I like playing Sigma. So it's just, this is more of like, this is probably a biased vote here with this one, but I'm gonna go Sigma A tier. We're gonna do it. Sigma's pretty good. I think Sigma and chat might agree or disagree with me on this one. I feel like Sigma's probably one of the most balanced heroes in Overwatch. Like, does a good amount of damage. Shield's okay. The abilities are pretty good. You know, the only thing I would really like to see, like, is two changes to Sigma. One, the ability to cancel your eat, because a lot of heroes are able to cancel, like, their abilities now. Cancel your eat, and the trade-off is you don't get the overshield. And then when Sigma was initially released, your ult didn't, like, stick to objects. I would like the option to have both versions of that, where it either sticks to an object or it doesn't. I think both of those changes would be ideal. So, well-balanced hero. Sigma's fun. A tier. Winston. I think, is B tier a fair assessment here? With Hog being meta, with Sojourn being good, with these other tanks, I think B is probably pretty good. I think Winston's one of those heroes. Winton is one of those heroes that I would say B tier. If a meta shifts, Winston could easily go here or here. If a meta shifts, straight up. Winston's like a meta shift away from being able to do this. So I think B tier is fine. Zarya, C tier. I think Zarya used to be here. With the changes to Zarya, I think C tier is good. I wouldn't put Zarya D tier. I really can't find myself putting Zarya in B tier. I don't find many maps I play Zarya on. If they have any of these heroes here, I find that I have to switch off of Zarya. I think Zarya will probably stay there for a while until they figure something out. And then to the last one here, chat. Where do we put Ramattra? Can I be honest with you? I don't know yet. I want to say not A tier. Not yet. But if I put Ramattra on the B tier, it's going to add a second row to the B tier. And I'm not sure if I should do that purely out of it having a second row. No, Ramattra's not C tier right now. Ramattra's not D tier. Ramattra's not S tier. And A tier can be argued, but I'm going to be honest with you. I've played enough Ramattra games right now to know that if I go up against a lot of heroes, I still struggle a little bit unless, like... I think B tier is a safe pick. I think B tier is a safe pick right now until we see... You're telling me I should move up a hero, an extra tier? Okay, I'll do it. Here you go. Moira's back in S tier. There you go. Is that better, chat? Are we good to go on that one? All right, I'm just kidding. You said don't make a second line? Okay, chat. We have to move one hero out of B tier just so we can have there be one line here. Who are we moving up? Who are we moving up on this list? To go? Who is going down on the list or up on this list? This is a chat vote purely to get this tier list on one line. Echo? Torb? Reaper? See, here's the thing, chat. Here's one thing we have going for us with this tier list, okay? With whatever decision of a hero we move up in the tier list. Do we... This is a 40-minute video, or is everybody going to get to the 40-minute mark of this? So we could put anything up there right now. There's going to be YouTube comments talking about how whatever hero we move up's in the tier list. You know? That happens every time. No, I'm just kidding. All right, chat, how about this? Let's move Echo to A tier. But I am very much leaning towards Echo, like A-, B+. No, we're not moving Moira to the Battle Moira section. That's not happening. You know what? People have been saying Doom hasn't been that good. Chat thinks I should move Doom to C tier. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, wrong one. There you go. That looks better, right? Is this better now? See what I mean with that second line? Look at that tier list. That's much better. Doesn't that look much better now? Oh. There we go. All right, chat. There's the Season 2 tier list that takes into account all the ranks, but sometimes we went with... I don't know. You know what I mean. Hope you enjoy the tier list, chat. Hope you enjoyed the tier list. Good sign to see a lot of heroes in the A and B tier, and even C tier. I think a lot of these heroes are all playable. I think these heroes are clearly strong. I still think, if you want to real talk, Mercy can be moved around in a lot of the tiers. Mercy's here purely because I go up against Sojourn Mercy every single game, and I just get dominated the whole time. So I put Mercy in S tier. I know that can be agreed upon, disagreed upon on where you think the hero should go, with especially Mercy, but I'm just going off of that because, listen, I play so many games where it's just a Mercy Sojourn going 45-2, and I'm just sitting there thinking I'm having a good game. I'm 18-5 on Hog, and they have 27 more limbs. So Mercy Sojourn is what I went with there. I think that's a pretty good list. I'm happy with that. All right. Good tier list. That was fun. Said good tier list, nerf Genji. Oh, there you go.